Hello and welcome to Heavy Metal Rex. My name is Wace, and today, as you can see behind me, I have a ton of boxes from Perrin. I'm incredibly excited to bring a lot of this stuff to you guys because Perrin was nice enough to send me basically a care package to get ready for Subi Fest. Some of you that don't know, I'm actually going to be down in Subi Fest Daytona here this weekend, and the car, it's not exactly show ready, show worthy, and there's still a couple of parts I actually do need to install. Not so much for performance, but just for longevity. Like, Jeff Perrin doesn't know this, but I've actually still not installed my air oil separator, which I know I'm terrible for, but I'm not going to lie. The hoses really, they stress me out, okay? Hoses really stress me out. The hose got me stressed. Next, I have a oil cooler, which is really cool because the way that it's going to be mounted is going to be different. It's actually not going to go behind the bumper. It's actually going to go on a strut tower bar, which looks incredibly awesome, and we'll actually be able to potentially maybe take advantage of the hood scoop again. Not really sure how that's going to fit with the front mount piping, but we'll figure that stuff out. And there's a couple of more engine dress up that I have that Perrin actually put my logo on, which makes it kind of a one of one. I'm really excited about that because I think it's so cool. Perrin has been a huge support for this channel from the very beginning. If you guys remember way back before this channel was really anything, what were some of the parts I got from Perrin? And yeah, some of them were experimental, some of them I didn't really know how to deal with or how to use, but because of those parts, it actually pushed me out of my comfort zone and forced me to do something that I wasn't familiar with. And just like today, I have never installed an AOS, and I have never installed an oil cooler. Hell, I've never installed any of these parts before on any car, let alone this one. So I'm excited to see how that turns out. I'm excited for you guys to come along for the ride. If you like any of these parts, you can actually pick them up on Perrin's website using my code HeavyMetalRex for, I think it's like 10% off, or wherever it is you like to buy your parts, it's fine as well. Of course, the parts that I got for the engine dress up are red, to go with the red piping that I have for the intercooler and the intake as well. This should be a lot of fun. It's going to be a long one, I'm going to tell you right now, because if I remember how it was installing the turbo inlet and the diverter valve, routing hoses and cutting hoses and trying to shove T-barbs into hoses or just regular barbs into hoses is a huge pain in the butt. But somewhere around here in this garage, I actually did buy a heat gun to help with the hoses at the time. I didn't really need it for more than like one hose. Today, I may actually need it for a lot of hoses. I am going to take that out. I've got all the necessary tools I need. I know specifically I needed a deep socket, 24 millimeter socket, and a 27 millimeter deep socket. I actually had to go buy those individually at, I got them from Home Depot, so they only came one piece each. I need to eventually just clean this garage out one of these days and just get a whole toolbox and have those tools, so I'm not buying them when I need them. I also had to buy a chisel. That is going to be necessary for the AOS installation. Also, I finally had a chance to use the really cool lights that Jeremy sent me. If you're interested in those lights, I will be using them in the engine bay to kind of light this area up there. Rechargeable LED lights that you can find. I have an affiliate link down in the description. If you like them, pick some up. I actually think they're phenomenal because you guys know I've been using I've been using a table lamp for some time. Actually, I'm using the table lamp right now. It's actually my light behind me because I can put a 60-watt LED bulb back there, and it's quite bright. So I will be using that in conjunction with everything else I have. But now I want to get these boxes open, show you guys what I have and what it looks like, especially the logo, and then we're going to get started. All right, so I'll start with the cosmetic stuff. As you can see, this is actually a radiator shroud, and what's cool is, check this out. They laser etched my logo on it, so all of the pieces will actually have my logo. So the radiator shroud is going to have it. The pulley cover actually has my logo on it. And also the left side, I believe this is the left side of the fender shroud, actually has my logo on it as well, which I cannot even believe that they did that. That is so cool. I have another piece, two more pieces with my logo on it. It's actually two cut pieces of acrylic that I could put pretty much anywhere on the car that I want. Which, again, just a nice little touch that I can place anywhere on the car. And realistically, I can even put LEDs behind this. That is something that I'm trying to like figure out where I could put this. I think these could actually go into this portion right here because I have this strut tower brace as well. And I was thinking, how cool would it be if I could figure out a way for it to actually fit in here. I don't think it actually could fit in here, but originally that's what I thought was the purpose. I'll have to check in with Jeff just to see if there is a particular place that he thought about putting these, or if it is just up to me. Overall, I am incredibly amazed that I'm going to actually have very custom stuff underneath the hood that potentially nobody else has. I mean, you could definitely do it if you buy these parts. You could do it yourself, or you can have somebody do it. But again, big thank you to Perrin for this. This is incredible. So let me move this stuff aside, and I'll show you the AOS, and I'll show you the oil cooler, and then I'm going to start with the AOS first, because that is the thing that I feel like is going to give me the most trouble. So here's the AOS. Very simple. I mean, I asked for a red and black one to fit the theme of my car. This, currently there is a video. I think the only video I found was actually DarkwolfWRXs video, which I have been following for some months now, and I'm finally getting around to actually doing it. So I'm going to be using his video as a reference. I'll put that into the description as well. As for the oil cooler, the only other video that I know of that has done it, at least that I've seen from Perrin, is actually JDM Right Hand Drive's video. But the difference between his video and my video is going to be he has placed the oil cooler on the actual front of the car. So that obviously that means removing the bumper. I will not be doing that. Mine will be going onto the strut tower brace right here. As you can see, it has these two holes. It's actually going to be held on the bar itself, which is going to give it a very unique look. So that should be really cool. This doesn't seem too complicated. Jeff sent me tons and tons of pictures, and also there is a stencil, and I haven't figured out if I'm putting the stencil on there or not. Also, I will tell you, I have like 30 of these Perrin license plate covers. I'm finally going to put one on the car, and I will bring the rest with me. If you guys want some, I have like 7. Just come find me, and I'll just give it to you. All right, I got all the hoses here. I've got the AOS here, and I've got all the fittings. So some of these need to be put into this right now. I've got the instructions. Like I say, I watched DarkwolfWRXs video to verify that I am doing things correctly. Of course, a couple of things that we need to start out with is getting this guy ready. There's a couple of fittings that need to go on here, and I'm going to find out which ones they are. You will get instructions as well, and they are with color. They do have pictures, so it's not that bad. You can follow this. Most of the installations for this I've been doing is I've been following through these. There's a couple of tools I do need. I have not grabbed all my tools yet, but I will pull them out as we go. So first things first, we need to actually add all of the different fittings that are supposed to go in these individual holes. So we need to find all of them. Now you can see there's this fitting here, there's one here, and there's 2 that go on the, actually 3 that go on the bottom. We've got the diagram. Wow. Even that is, even this picture is a little off because those guys are a little bit to the left. I think that's something that can be adjusted. I think you can actually undo this from the bottom and adjust that. So I might actually do that, but I need to get my hex keys. So let me do that. So what I was able to do is I was able to actually loosen this Allen bolt and move this to make it look more like the picture. This, of course, does need to move a little bit more, but that looks pretty spot on. Actually, it should be like that. Yeah, it should be like that, actually, because there's going to be 2 hoses, and they're going to go around this metal piece. So I'm going to tighten that up. Now, the top part we need to sort out. Need to make sure I got all the right pieces here. There's this guy, and I'm pretty sure that's this. Yeah, that does have the Allen key on there. Cool. The Allen plug, so we'll get that sorted out. Get this guy in here. So the way they have this is facing in line, parallel to this part right here. whereas this top one is facing this way. I don't want to go too crazy on them. That seems pretty good. These are good enough, I think. Although, I mean, I guess I could twist them a bit more. I'm just not sure because in the instructions it doesn't say exactly how much to turn them. Because even in the pictures you can see right here, it's actually not all the way in. So I'm not sure if that's the intended way to deal with this. Now, before we can continue with this, I'm actually going to start with the turbo sump restrictor. And we need to do that. We actually did this on the 2015 WRX. I did this on my 2021. That is a whole nother process. I do believe I may need to remove the radiator fan to do that, to make it easier. Of course, I don't have the charge pipe in the top mount, so that's less of an issue that I have to worry about. And I'm gonna get that stuff out of the way first. So let me go take the radiator fan off, and then we'll move on to the next step. Whoever tells you that the radiator fan is easy to take off, slap them, because it's not. It's a pain in the ass. Anyway, now what we're gonna do is I'm actually gonna start with the turbo sump restrictor first. So you can see this is normally your charge pipe would be coming down here. This is the charge pipe I have for the front mount intercooler, and the part that we're looking for is actually this thing right here. It's connected to, let me see if I can bring it up on this side. It's connected to that. Let me turn on my other light. There we go. So you can actually see that right there is what we're looking for. This whole thing needs to come off. This assembly needs to come off because we're going to put in something in the middle of that we can put another hose that comes back over to the AOS. So I'm going to figure out how to take this out, this right here. This might be an issue. I might have to pop this off so I can get that. I'm going to see if that's even possible to do without popping this off. This is really close. So let me see. Okay, taking the turbo sump was so ridiculous. Like taking this little part off right here to get the turbo sump restrictor on. This pipe, this hose took me about 20 minutes. I cut myself here on my arm. I cut myself on my thumb because I'm not wearing gloves because I'm an idiot. So I'm gonna figure out how to take, so what you have to do is you gotta take this part off. There's this plastic piece up top right here. This needs to come off, and we're going to add the additional piece on this. So I'm gonna take this off and I'll show you guys the additional piece. So there are notches in here, so you want to align this plastic to where the notches are, and then you can push this out. There is an O-ring that came off of this that I did transfer over to this. This comes in two pieces, so you just thread this into the restrictor here. And you should theoretically be able to just push this sucker back in, but because the notches are there, you're going to have to really shove it in there. So let's see exactly how much shoving is required. It's got to go from the bottom. Okay. Actually, we'll put the O-ring on afterwards because I think it's going to get cut. So, shove this in. That looks good. That's what that looks like. Why am I having trouble with this? And then we'll just put the O-ring in from the top. And kind of push it down. Make sure it sits where it needs to sit. There we go. So it should fall right into, because there is an area that's notched out for the O-ring. And then we should be able to just put this right back where we got it. Damn, this was a pain in the ass. I definitely find these, I remember doing this on my 2015, and that was a pain as well. So I'm glad that some things are still consistent. Okay, that's that. Let's put all this back together. So you can see this is the barb that we added. We're actually going to put a hose on this and bring it back to the AOS. So this needed to be here. This is actually now, it's got the sump restrictor in there. So this is good to go. Now we're going to move on to the next step. Next, I do need to take this off. There is a little clip right here, this metal clip. This is actually the turbo inlet. So this is going to come off, and if you follow this, this is actually this hose going right here, which the instructions do tell us that we need to break that piece so that this whole pipe can come off, and we're actually going to be replacing that pipe. So let me get that out. So here's what we need to do. We actually need to take a chisel to this plastic bit right here and break this off so that this whole hose can come out. So that's what I'm going to do now. So when you're doing this, make sure you pick up any plastic pieces that fall off after you're done chiseling. That's very important. So after that's chiseled, you can see that was really easy to do. So this whole pipe comes out. This whole hose comes out. Now there is supposed to be an O-ring in there. I think it's actually in the inside. Yeah, so there's supposed to be an O-ring in there. And it was inside. Ouch. It was inside this piece. I was able to pull it out of this piece. So next what you want to do is you actually want to take the O-ring and you want to put it inside here. There is a lip, and the instructions actually show you exactly where it's supposed to go. You can see it. It's in there. There's a lip inside where that needs you can actually see it on the paper. It even shows you there's a lip inside. You can tell, obviously not on camera, but when you're looking at it with your eye, exactly where that O-ring is supposed to go. Okay, now we got to play a little bit of a game. This piece right here that we took off the intake manifold, or sorry, not the intake manifold, the intake turbo inlet, this needs to come off. So this piece needs to be removed so this can go on another hose that they provided. So there is a little, this is not so bad. This is just foam, easy peasy, that comes right off. This is the part that's going to be harder because this is some sort of like plastic, but I think I'm going to try to use the, let me see how hard it would be to actually cut this. Not too terrible. Not bad. A little bit deeper in here. Yeah, it's like, that's what Darkwolf was saying. It's like some sort of plastic. It's not like that part's not rubber. So I was able to make incisions in it, but I think I can make like a few more incisions. Going this way. Possibly, and going, and watch my hand, you should always actually realistically cut the other way. There we go. So just, that was enough. I just was able to make 2 incisions here. And once I pull on it, it comes right off. So, rather, there we go. There we go. So that's pretty thick. It didn't go all the way. It was like a rubber plastic or whatever, but no big deal. That's off now. So that out of the way, put our ka-chik away. It does, yeah, he was saying that there is an O-ring here, but I don't know if we actually need that. So now we need, the instructions say to cut that off 24 inches of the supplied 1/2 inch hose. And that's where we're going to connect. All right, I got 24 inches of hose up on this guy. This dude, I'm going to clamp back in into the turbo inlet so that it is there and ready for us. So what we need to do is need to make sure this guy is up. Once we push it into the turbo inlet, you should hear a click, and that should be that. Yep, I hear a click. I'm going to leave this guy just chilling right there. We'll eventually get to that guy. All right, next the instructions call for the moving of the removing of the alternator. So I need to get a couple of things here. You need a 17mm socket to be able to rotate this guy, and you can use, I don't know exactly what size this is, but there's an area where you can actually put an Allen key in there to keep it from moving. Slide that sucker in there. You're good to go. You can remove the belt safely. Over to the side there. And there are two, what size is those? I want to say those are 214? No, I think they may be 12. Yeah, two 12mm bolts that need to be removed. See how close? Nope, too far. I apologize for all the lawn mowing happening, but there's only so many. If I close the garage, then I die of sweat. So I have to take what I can get. Chances are I won't be able to finish this right now because I do have to go pick up my daughter in a little bit. So I will have to continue this at night. Then I will be able to close the garage and it will be nice and silent. But all right, now we got another tricky bit here. So off of the intake manifold, we've got this pipe or this hose. So this clamp needs to be moved from this side. And if we follow it down here, you can see inside, I don't know if you can see it, but there's another one in there somewhere. That's going to be a tough one to get. Let's see if I can get the light in there. So yeah, right down there. Somewhere down there. That's that other one. So we're going to have to get that. So this hose needs to come off somehow with magic. So I'm not sure. I could actually remove the EGR pipe right here from the manifold and back here. There is this bracket here as well that could be moved as well. There's a couple of options. I'm going to try to do it just without removing anything and see how it goes. So it is later on in the evening. I actually ended up having to go get a different set of pliers to actually get, there's another one down here. I was able to get it, but it was very difficult. I had to go get 45 degree, here it is, you can actually see it's right there. I got it. 45 degree needle nose pliers and a 90 degree needle nose pliers to be able to get in there. So that actually set me back quite a bit. Now I'm just having trouble with figuring out how to get this angle on. So this is I think it's the PCV hose back here that needs to be removed, and there's a whole attachment that we need to create to put on that. So I'm going to do that next. So now that these clamps are off, I need to get this hose out somehow. I assume it is a matter of just pulling, but sometimes that is not always doable. Considering that I have cut myself a few times, I am going to get my gloves on because I am not interested in being hurt anymore. How does one even get these off? Oh, goodness. Wow. There it is. Not quite as easy as you would think. So you can see this right here is what we need to remove, okay? This right here. And this takes, I believe it is a 27mm socket, which I was saying earlier in the video, I actually had to go buy I had to go buy one because I didn't own this. So this is the right one now. I got the 27. It does work. It's me. I'm dumb. Okay, got that loosened up. If I can get my hand in there. Okay, cool, I can. Uh-oh, where'd it go? Get my hands on it. Okay. There we go, there it is. All right, cool beans, that is out. Now with that out of the way, we do have this black piece that we need to put in there. This barb needs to screw in there somehow. This is going to be a tough one. And then you need to figure out. I'm going to make sure this is the right one. This is it. Let's see how to even do. This is going to be interesting. Shit. Already, this is proving to be. Oh my god. What's happening? Oh my god. Dude, this is so annoying. Where'd it go? Oh, hell. I know you can't see, but I can't either, and I'm getting really pissed off. God damn it. This is horse. I should just have took this. I should have took this EGR pipe off, honestly. Like, I've done it so many times. God damn. That is annoying. Realistically, I feel like I don't even have the right size crow's foot to deal with this, and I'm going to be so mad if it's the wrong size, because I think they said 19, and I think I only have 18 or 22, which is, that's stupidity that those are the two options I have. I think that's pretty tight. I'm happy with that tightness. Oh, goodness, that was something else. I would suggest, if you're doing this, take the EGR pipe off. Just do it. It will make a huge difference. Knowing what I know now, if I went back and redid this, I'd take this EGR pipe off. It doesn't take that long. Yeah, that's good. It doesn't really take that long, and it's not worth the hassle of leaving it there. I strongly believe that. So what we're doing is we're actually putting it back on the same nozzle thingy that it came from, that's coming off of the intake manifold. So I will slide this back on, move this out of the way. Slide that back on. Bring this here, like so, and tighten it up. All right, that's not going anywhere. Now we need to get a tube on here. All right, we're gonna take a little break from all the hoses because it's starting to get a little much, and we're gonna come back to this guy. And the reason we're gonna come back to this guy is there's a couple of things that need to be done. Actually, just one thing. There's a set screw that needs to be put right in here, and it's a tiny little guy. I got it sitting over here. And what they want you to do is start the screw. You don't want to finish it. You just want to get it in there lightly and ready for when you place the whole assembly onto the, oh my, that just fell right in there, didn't it? Okie dokie. I hope that that's not a problem. Is way too big. Oh my goodness. No way. This can't be happening. Yeah, no, there's something wrong with that. There is definitely something wrong with that. Oh my goodness, that's not good. That's not good at all. It didn't come with anything else. That's everything, minus the Y fitting. There's nothing else. There are no other parts. Oh boy. All right. Intermission time. And it is actually, I think it is exactly 5:30 seconds. And so that's not gonna work. So I'm talking to Jeff Perrin to see what we can do, because obviously without this set screw, I can't put the AOS where it needs to go. So need to find a solution. Either I got to go buy an 832 set screw somewhere, or we need to just come up with a different solution. So I'm working on that right now. Okay, so where we're at right now, we're okay to leave that out for now. It looks like this was obviously a prototype model because I got this like months ago. So we're gonna install it anyway. Leave everything as is, and I will go get the set screw tomorrow from Home Depot. No problem. Jeff said the weight should be enough to keep this from moving. I'm going to trust him and move on with the install. So what we need to do now, or at least what I need to do, is I need to, this is where the AOS is going to go. So I actually need to pull this forward a little bit. I moved it a little bit. I'm not going to try to move it too much. All right, so before we move on from this point, let me get the rest of the hoses on the actual AOS itself, because that now needs to happen as well. So a couple of hoses that need to go on the AOS itself. You have a 1/2 inch and you have a 5/16. So the 1/2 inch is actually going to go, or is this the 5? Let me make sure this is the 1/2 inch. Oh, it's a 1/4 inch. Sorry. The 1/4 inch is actually going to go down here on the bottom, right here. And we just need to, boy, oh man, shove this on here somehow. Whoa, that's, yeah. knew that was going to happen. God damn it. This is why I did not want to do. These are so annoying. I remember this was my issue with. This is exactly why I don't want to do these. Like, I actually hate these hoses so much. So much. Okay, fitment looks good. Everything here looks fine. Of course, we can't, I can't do anything with the set screw, so just going to have to leave it like this. Now we need to start routing some of these hoses. These, I got to start figuring out because this does need to be cut. There's two over here that need to go somewhere. There's the coolant one that still needs to be hooked up. There is the turbo sump one, which is down here. This, what I did was I ran it from underneath the belt, and I'm going to have to attach it, like everybody else is doing, to the wiring harness, I guess, for the radiator fan. That's probably the best idea for that. That's what Dark Wolf did, and I will reference his video a lot. And like I said, I'm going to put that video down below. It is, I think, a considerably better video than this one. Okay, so it is 10:30 at night, and it's taken me that long to do just the air oil separator. But that's because I ran into a ton of issues, and I ended up just not being able to record the last bit, which was just routing the hoses, which everything is done now. Actually, I just turned the car on and let it run, or let it sit for about 5-6 minutes, just to check that if there's any leaks or if there's anything like that. Nothing. The only thing that you guys really missed out on was the coolant hose in the back, which I'll probably, to be honest, this is difficult. And I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get everything in. I'm still going to link Dark Wolf's video because it is considerably better. Plus, he actually had somebody to film, which makes it a lot easier. I wasn't able to get a lot of the angles that I wanted to hear, but this is it for tonight. This is definitely going to be a multi-part video. There's going to be a lot going on because there's still tons of other stuff I need to install. So tomorrow I'm going to do the oil cooler and the rest of the cosmetics in the engine bay. Let me show you guys the oil cooler real quick. The oil cooler is sitting over here. I actually ended up spraying the Perrin logo on it, and I did a terrible job. It doesn't look super bad, but I don't like it, so I may actually just use the backside. I don't know. That's actually the same paint that I had that I painted the side skirts with, so maybe that's why it's not so great. But either way, this is going on tomorrow. I'm gonna go to bed. I am super duper tired. Oh my God, just focus. Why are you not focusing? There you go. I'm really tired. I'm gonna go to bed. I'll pick this up again tomorrow. Okay, all right. It's the next day. As you can see, all my stuff is still right where I left it last night. All of my wonderful tools. It's not 150 degrees outside today. I think it's a little bit overcast, which is kind of nice because I can actually leave the garage open. And I don't think they're doing any construction, so there's not going to be any weird noises like there were yesterday. That was really annoying. What's on the agenda today is getting the oil cooler. Let me show you guys. This was what I showed you yesterday. From a distance, it actually doesn't look too terrible. Like, obviously, that's the Perrin logo. I sprayed that on. It's not the best. Up close, it doesn't really hold up. But I think it still looks pretty cool. So I may actually leave it on this side, facing forward. It does have, I put some clear coat on it, so hopefully it actually lasts. So anyway, the oil cooler is going on today, and all of the cosmetic parts. That is this whole box of junk, this whole little pile of junk right here. So I'm going to get everything sorted out. I'm going to get the instructions pulled up for the oil cooler, and I'm going to start mocking everything up. The last night, I did actually start the car with the AOS on. The AOS is on right now, as you can see. It is right here. I still need to go get a set screw for it. I'll probably hit up Ace Hardware later today to get that. As you can see, I have all the routing is exactly the way it's supposed to be. Turn the car on, let it run for a little bit, and it's been fine. No issues there. So I'm happy to report that is A-okay. So let me get my camera set up and let me get my light set up. We'll get started. Here is what we need to start out with. We are going to be removing the oil filter, the OEM oil cooler, which does require a 24 millimeter deep socket. Then what we will be doing is creating a whole tower for this, and you'll see in a few minutes here. It's just basically going to be a multiple plates and then the actual oil cooler assembly that has the cables routed or the hoses routed to it. Then we're going to route the hoses underneath the intercooler tube somehow and all the way into the back. And then the oil cooler will actually mount to the strut bar tower, which is crazy. That's what it's going to look like. This is unique. It's not actually going to be in the front mount or the front of the car. We don't have to remove the bumper. So that is going to be very cool. So I actually recently changed my oil, so I will not be changing the oil now or the filter. What I will be doing is just removing this, taking all the excess oil out of here, and then I do have an extra quart that I will be pouring in here, which is what's suggested to do after making this change. So let me take these guys off, and we'll take it one step at a time. Now, something we do need to remember is there is cooling. There are coolant hoses here, one here and one here. These do need to be removed before removing the OEM oil cooler. So I'm going to get started with that. No problem. How in the world are we supposed to? Oh, I guess we do them over here on this side. On the side of the... There we go. Cool. So that's that. See if I can push that in a little bit more. There we go. Very good. Those are clamped in. And we didn't drop any coolant on anything, nor did I get any coolant on parts I wasn't supposed to get coolant on. So that's cool. Now you can use the OEM. You can use the OEM clamps, as you can see here. Get you guys in there a little bit more. You can use the OEM clamps to move, to just clamp over the barb. So let me get... Oh, okay. It's actually where it needs to be. Okay, cool. I didn't even need to do that. So just move that to the side. Cool. So that part's done. Happy with that. That's resolved. Now, we need to take that off. Bring this guy back out. And then the excess. Now we need like I said, we need a deep socket. 24 millimeter, I believe that was. Let me go get my 24 mil. Now this part you may not have. I didn't have this part either. I actually had to go buy it from Home Depot. I actually ended up buying the 24 and the 27 that I needed for the AOS. Okay, I believe that, oh yeah, there we go. So that actually just comes out, so we need to make sure, be careful. Oh, there's still some coolant leaking out, but let me get this guy. There's still some coolant and some oil leaking out. Mainly coolant is what I'm worried about. Let me get this somewhere. All right, so here's what we got. We got these three parts here. So the smallest goes in first, and then the medium, then the large. And there's three actual things that need to go, like 3 plates that need to go on here as well. Where did I place them? Here we go. So there will be one metal plate, a second metal plate, and then this plate that actually has the this actually has the routing for the hoses. I gotta figure, oh, it's actually gonna go this way. I gotta figure out exactly which direction that they all go. Make sure I put them in right. And this needs to be tightened to 24 pound-foot, which really isn't a whole lot. I'm going to get the torque wrench anyway. Yeah, 25 is really not that crazy. All right, next we take our first plate, place it on here, and take our second silver bolt thingamabobber and get that on here. So this will be the first level of our sandwich. Oh my, that is bigger. Man, wonder what that is. It's close to a 27 and maybe a 26. I'm not sure, but I'm kind of glad I had them both. All right, that's that. Next up. Oh, actually, before I continue, there are a couple of things I need to do. I gotta take, I forgot. I gotta take this shield off, and I gotta take this shield off somehow. So put this guy on here. Put this guy on. Let's see. Turn this sucker down. Oh, change that. Okay. Okay, I can't tighten that down. This is too small, too big, that's too small. Okay, what the hell? Guess we're gonna have to do the old-fashioned way. That's definitely 25. That's definitely 24 pound foot for sure, because I feel like I did it maybe a little bit harder. Okay, so now, these are the fittings that actually go into the thermostat housing, and there is an O-ring. The O-ring actually goes here. Let me see if I can try and show you guys. It's really hard because the camera doesn't focus this close. Oh, come on, guys. Just show. Okay, here we go. So you see the O-ring is on this side, so it's going to go into the thermal housing this way. This is going to be facing out, and that's, oh wait, no, I'm sorry, oh my god, no, this is the side that goes into the thermal housing, so it goes in like this is sticking out. I just confirmed that with Jeff, so let me show you here on the housing what that looks like. See, this is the hole for the housing. It will go in like this. Like that. Okay. And I need to do there. I need to tighten that some more too because it's not supposed to move by hand. And I think I should be able to tighten this with the wrench. Actually, you know what? I think I should be able to get the hoses in here as well, so I need to check that. I need to figure out how that goes. Okay, now that everything is off, and I took the nuts, the stock nuts off, and I got this placed over here. I actually already have the oil cooler on the strut bar, so need to do is figure out, the placement of this. So obviously it's going to have to go something like this. Is there anything that is catching up on? Whoopsie daisy. It's a bit of a, it's some work. So that looks like that's how it will go. I didn't see anything else that it is catching up on. I'm gonna make sure this looks right. So that's where the air cooler is gonna go. So it's kind of cool because it will actually sit right underneath the hood scoop, and so it will actually get some decent-ish air. Now this is the Noble hood scoop, and it does have that grill. I actually may find a way to take the grill out. So this looks pretty good. It's not really catching up on anything except this little plug here, which I think that is for the windshield wiper fluid. But besides that, it seems good on both sides. Let's see how it is on that side. Okay, so there is supposed to be space. That is normal by design. Now, what I don't understand is why it seems like I have to push it in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen these a little bit. Oh, I don't know why it even... That's good. This again, like I said, I don't have this very tight. This can move about if it needs to, and that's fine. Put this back in here. Rotate this. There we go. Well, as soon as I rotate it a little bit, it actually ends up getting a little tight. Otherwise, it won't fit. Yeah, see? It ends up being just a little tight. So that's how it is. Like that's, oh my God, this is. So if that's how tight it's supposed to be, then that's fine. I just need to make sure that that's normal. They did say there's going to be space on both sides. That's fine. I guess let me just put these guys in there and see what happens. Okay, actually before I do that, I need to make sure the hoses actually fit where I want it to fit. So I'll move this down a little bit. It's not completely centered. So one hose will hit there. That's cool. And the other hose will hit down there. So that's cool. I think we are good. Now, the question is, so that tightens like that. Okay, we'll have to tighten these down, and then we'll come back and do that. All right, so I guess that's cool. Let me double check with Jeff to make sure about the tightness of the strut bar. Okay, so I actually ended up taking the boost tube off. It was a good suggestion by Jeff Perrin. He said, just take it off. It'll just be in the way, and it definitely was. And so what I'm doing now is I'm actually getting this hose on, and this all seems to be fine. This was me. I think I was tightening it in a weird way. I just had to angle it until it fit. I'm getting these hoses to where they need to go, and then I have to figure out what's happening back here. There is a clip back here I may need to move, but right now I want to get these hoses on. So I know exactly where I'm going to be routing this. Everything seems to be okay right now. Whoops. Let me put that back where that goes. Okay. Okay, that is nice and tight. That is nice and tight. All right, both these are here. This doesn't really move. I'm happy with this. The only concern is here. I don't think that's really an issue. It doesn't really get in the way. So I'm actually fine. I ended up not removing that black bracket, and I'm okay with that. I just need to figure out how to handle stuff back here now. So that's done. Now I need to figure out how to get those hoses onto the oil cooler. And once I can sort that out, then I can tighten these guys up, because I think this is actually at a pretty decent spot where it's at. But I will need to tighten this up here. Let me see if I'm able to. Okay, was able to figure everything out. I got the oil cooler where it needs to be. I've got this pretty much where I want it. The issue ended up being that because of the way that the oil cooler was pulling on the strut bar, I had to make sure that everything was lined up properly so that the strut bar wasn't pulled in a weird way. And that's what was happening. All right, at the home stretch. Now I got to figure out how to thread these in, because these are definitely tough to thread. Because like I can rotate them by hand. I don't know, that's tough. So it's like that. Maybe I can get my wrench. This is really difficult. This is incredibly difficult. It looks straight. All right, cool. Oh, man. One on, one to go. There we go. Got it. Oh man, we're getting there. We are getting there. There was no way that I was going to be able to tighten that by hand. That was impossible. All right. Oh my God, it's done. These are on. These are on. Everything is on. That's it. That was all the hard stuff. Okay, so the way to prime it, it says, before starting your engine, turn the key on the position, onto the on position, apply 100% throttle, then try to start your car with the throttle at 100% floored. The engine will not start, but will turn over. Do this roughly for 5 seconds and wait seconds. Then do this again for 5 seconds. Repeat this 2-3 times. This will prime the engine. Then start your car and let it run for 5 seconds and then shut off the engine. Oh, it said to, oh boy. It said to add the oil after. Oh shoot, I already added the oil. Damn it. All right, just did the priming, and I started it for 5 seconds, no leaks. I'm going to start it again and leave it on. It's a little loud, obviously, because this engine is crazy, but I don't see any leaking. None from there. No leaking here. Belt's not touching hose. I've zip tied that, so that's not going anywhere. Anything down there? Let me get my light. No. is this? Any coolant? Nope. I think we're good. I think I actually did a good job. All right, now that all that is out of the way, looks like everything is good. The car is not leaking oil. The car is not leaking any kind of fluids whatsoever, and I'm glad for that. I'm going to move on to the cosmetics. So what I've got so far is the radiator shroud, which I've actually already taken off, the pulley cover, and the fender shrouds. So I'm going to get all that stuff here, and this, I mean, this should be like 20 minutes worth of work trying to get all this stuff on, because like I see, I already took the fender shroud off. All it was just a couple, I think it was like 4 clips, just like one of the pull tabs, pull them all off, and the whole shroud comes off in one piece. All right, so here's the deal. These are the plastics, the plastic clips that I actually took out of the car. So basically what we need to do is we need to remove the centers. So you just grab them and remove the centers because you still need the back parts. So what you do is they actually give you these aluminum ones, and you just clip those in their spot, allegedly. How does that even work? Huh. Okay, this is a little bit more complicated than I thought. Okay, so you're supposed to be able to push these down into it, but that is not. That one doesn't even work properly. So let me see. So not the ones that have like the gaps, you need the regular ones. So I got 3 of those. So do I already have? So 1, 2, and 3. So basically you clip these guys in just like, so check this out. Now that I've got those 3 guys on there, this actually sits on it and these connect in the middle. I didn't realize that. These actually connect in the middle. So I'll place this one here. I'll place this here, and that goes on the bottom. That goes on the top, and these are going to be connected by some sort of bolt. So obviously this needs to go like this somehow. Like these nuts need to go underneath. So you see now it's screwed in on both sides, and now it's one piece. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to line it up with the three brackets that we put on. 1, 2, that one spun a little bit, so just that. And that lines up, and put the washers. Pretty simple. I'll go and close that real quick, make sure fitment is on point. Nothing sounded like it broke. Looks good. Solid, not moving. Perfect, so that's done. Next up is the pulley. We'll do the pulley cover real quick because that should be pretty easy to do as well. It's like one small area. So as you can see, I no longer have a pulley cover. We broke that at Ecotech on like the first dyno day, the first or second dyno day, I can't remember. I think it was actually the second one when I went to go install the front mount intercooler. Now, there's a rubber grommet here that needs to be removed. What you do have instead are two of these guys. One goes over here, and a smaller one goes over here. Now this one's going to be tricky because you have to get a nut on the bottom as well. So I'm going to start with the left side one first. Another problem that we're going to run into is I am going to have to push the, well, not by much, but I am going to have to push the AOS back just a tad bit to be able to get a lot of this stuff to align. But that's okay because I got to come back and redo that anyway because I need the set screw. So that's a work in progress. If anything, this will help keep it from moving so much. So that's a nice benefit. So I'm going to place this. This is going to be real tricky. I'm going to place this here. And this needs to go all the way through. Okay, and now underneath, oh man, I don't know how I'm going to do that. Underneath, there is a nut that needs to go somehow through magic. So this is what I've done. I've put tape on the bracket where the grommet was and just put the nut on the inside. And now I'm going to try and thread it all in, and hopefully that's enough. Oh, I think we got it. Yep, got it. I don't know how I'm supposed to get a wrench down there, though, to be able to tighten that. There we go. It's not perfect, but it'll do. So cool, that piece is on, and check out the logo. Pretty badass. So these are going to be installed the exact same way as the radiator shroud was. The plastic pieces need to be removed, and once the plastic pieces are removed, we'll use the bottom portion of the plastic clips to install these little aluminum ones, and then we'll just screw in, we just screw them in at that point. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So in this case, you're seeing these 3 little pop clips are going to come out. So pop that out. 1, 2, and 3. So that's out. Just like that, this piece comes right. Actually, it's not even plastic, it's rubber. So what you do is you actually pull, just like the radiator shroud, you just pull the top part out and put the bottom in and put those back. Where they came from, 2, and 3. Okay. So you just need to clip the aluminum bits back in, just like the radiator shroud. Line them up to this portion. Wait a minute, I think I made a mistake. One's got to be, oh boy. I got to move these down a bit. Now everything should line up. There we go, it's lining up. There we go. Now everything lines up. Cool. It does come with these little black spacers. You can put like the, oh no! Come with these little black spacers. I'm going to have to figure out how to find that. I have no idea where that went. It's got the Perrin logo on it. You just make sure it's facing forward. And that's that. Now I got to figure out where the hell that thing went. It's very frustrating. All right, look at this. Everything is done. Fender shroud is on. Looks really good. I actually dropped one of the black aluminum pieces into the engine bay. Got to find where the hell that went. Look at this. Strut bar is on there. The oil cooler is on there. Air oil separator is on there. Radiator shroud. Everything is looking good, man. And again, check. I mean, this is the coolest part. I mean, look at that. Logo, logo, logo. So now everybody knows whose this is. So everything is done, and I cannot believe how long it's taken me. It's taken about, I think, a total of 8 hours to get everything installed, because I've never installed an air oil separator, and I've never installed an oil cooler. Now, there are certain things that did give me trouble, obviously, and I want to say that overall, it wasn't bad if I had done one thing at a time, and I gotta say, I am so thankful to Perrin for giving me these really cool the engine dress up, because it's got my logo on it. I still can't even believe that that is a thing. And also, so that's custom, obviously. And then the black little washers that go under the screws on the fender shrouds, those are also custom. And this is, or I'd rather, those aren't out yet. So like nobody has these except me, which is kind of cool. So this car, the engine bay went from being like just box standard to actually like special. So you guys are really gonna like it, especially when the car comes down to Orlando. And the oil cooler, everything's working. That's one thing I was checking. There's no leaks, there's no oil leaks, there's no fluid leaks of any kind, which again, anytime that happens, I'm incredibly happy, because this is still hard to me. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. The video was a little bit longer than expected, but I had a lot of fun, although I cursed a lot on a few parts. It was still a lot of fun getting all this stuff together, and I cannot wait. I will see you guys in Florida. Before you go, if you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. Hitting that subscribe button costs you guys nothing, and it gains me everything. I try to provide as much entertainment and information as possible, whether you're looking at my racing series, Vehicular Acceleration Testing, or you're looking at Tuner Talk, which is actually a great series for newcomers and veterans. My only goal is to try to make the VB community better, and I can't do that without your help. Thank you.